Apparently, this is the best place in the world to see leopards. And, according to Forbes, this is the best safari experience outside of the continent of Africa. So, in this video, we're going to find out if that's the truth.
We are Mark and Esse, and welcome back to our channel. First of all, we love cats.
Our genuine passion for all things cats is probably the thing that bonds us together most in our relationship. And if you were to scroll down through all of our DMs to each other on Instagram, you would likely just find cat reel after cat reel after cat reel.
Naturally, a big dream of ours was to see a big cat in the wild, particularly a leopard, as we find there is just something about those spots. They're just a work of art.
If you have a dream like that, the best way to fulfill it is to find the best place and the best company to give yourself the best chance of accomplishing it. Hence Yala National Park, or more specifically, Mahoora Tented Safari Camp.
If you're passionate about wildlife and, like us, dream of a chance to encounter wild animals as elusive as the leopard in their natural habitat, you may be in for a treat.
Before getting into all of that though, let us explain a bit about how we got here. Last night we stayed in the beach town of Tangali.
And we took a bus from Tangali to Tissa Maharagama, and then hopped on another bus from Tissa Maharagama to where we are now, Kataragama. And we got off at this nice place. It's called P&S Bakery. Had a nice piece of cake, and now we're going to hop on a tuk-tuk, and hopefully we should be at Mahoora in about 10 or 15 minutes. The tuk-tuk took us just right to the campsite at Mahoora for just €3. So that meant that we got from Tangali to Mahoora, which is quite a big distance, for just €7 between us. We had contemplated taking an Uber, as this way on the buses just seemed like quite a lot of hassle, but in all honesty it actually wasn't, and the buses turned out to be pretty comfortable. If we had taken an Uber from Tangali to Mahoora, it would have cost about €30, so that was like €23 we saved just by hopping on a couple of buses instead of taking the easy route and ordering an Uber. It's up to you, but we would definitely recommend the bus and tuk-tuk combo. After all, it is a bit of adventure you're after.
So we arrived at our campsite, where we were greeted with smiling faces and a glass of wood apple juice to cool us down. After we left our luggage in our tent, which we'll give you a tour of soon, we had built up quite the appetite after traveling all morning, and it just so happened that there was a Sri Lankan cooking lesson starting.
Who wants to cook? They asked. And Asya, always keen to get me in front of the camera, as you can probably tell, said, "Mark loves cooking." Mark does not love cooking. So, after all that, it became my job to make us lunch for the afternoon.
I reluctantly channeled my long-lost inner Gordon Ramsay and got behind the wok to whip us up a curry. The chicken curry was made by using a blend of aromatic spices, curry leaves, coconut milk, and fresh ingredients like garlic and other vegetables. With every bite, you could really taste the rich and complex flavors that make Sri Lankan curry a culinary masterpiece. If you haven't tried curry in Sri Lanka, you just need to try it.
So we've had quite a busy morning, obviously, with all the travelling and getting checked in and everything, and we just had lunch, and now it's time to chill out for a wee while. It's 2 o'clock, and at 4:30 we're going on a nature walk, which gives us time to show you around our luxury tent, which is definitely the most luxury tent I've ever seen in my life. But just before we show you that, we want to give a special mention to the sponsor of today's video, Babbel. Babbel is one of the top language learning apps in the world, and its intuitive lessons, which are created by real language teachers, will help you learn your new language through real-life conversations. We personally have been using the Babbel app for around about a year now, and our main aim has been to develop our Spanish.
Vosotros estudias historia.
We first started learning just before our big trip to South America, where, for obvious reasons, having a bit of Spanish is kind of an essential. Within just 3 weeks of using the app, we were able to hold simple conversations, and now we have really developed a good grasp of our new language. You will learn how to have practical conversations about topics like business, travel, relationships, and so much more. If you use our link below, you will receive a massive 60% off your subscription during Babbel's Black Friday sale. So whether you're studying abroad, dreaming of future travel plans, or just have the itch to learn something new, now is the time to start. You also have a safety net of a 20-day money-back guarantee. Be sure to let us know in the comments which language you are going to choose, but for now, let us show you that tent, as promised. Now, let's show you the massive tent and private area we have to ourselves. If I hadn't shown you outside already, you'd be forgiven for thinking that the inside of this was a hotel room. But believe it or not, this is our tent. So as all good tents should have, this is our living room. As we move through the living room, we reach our beautifully decorated bedroom with air conditioning, and another fan here at this side of the bed. We have our own plug outlets, a nice painting behind the bed, somewhere for all of our luggage, tucked away nicely so it's not an eyesore. And then of course, the bathroom. The bathroom has a shower that we have hot water with, which again we weren't expecting, which is great. Fully functional toilet, sink, shower gel, shampoos, what more would you want? So what's funny is we have to use a padlock and lock the tent every time we leave, but it's not in fear of people robbing us, it's actually in fear of monkeys coming in and stealing our stuff. The guys said that the monkeys, if they see something shiny in the room, they'll open the zips and take it.
You have not only your own tent, but also a lot of places to relax with Wi-Fi, with water and stuff, but this one is a raised viewing platform, and here we are at the edge of Yala National Park. So it's like the opposite of being in a zoo, because we are in a sort of cage, because here is the fence, so elephants can come in. And as we went up here on the second floor, we saw around 15 monkeys or so. I think there are some trees where they get something to eat, and it's so fascinating. They're just here.
To protect us from wild animals, mainly elephants, coming into the site, there is an electric fence that surrounds the whole campsite. But don't worry, it won't do them any harm if they touch it. It's pretty much just a deterrent, and I guess they could just go through it easily if they really wanted to. We learned about this fence on our nature walk that evening with our naturalist Jellojan, who gave us a fascinating insight into the surrounding area. He told us that Yala National Park was over 900 square kilometers in size, making it the second largest national park in the country. We spotted elephant footprints around the perimeter of the campsite, but unfortunately we didn't manage to spot any elephants themselves. Not to worry though, as we had a lovely walk around the area and got to know a lot more about our surroundings.
So now we are ready to go for dinner, and this is one of my favorite parts of these kind of experiences of having full board, because you never know what you're gonna get, and you typically end up getting something you would never order on a menu, but it ends up being very delicious. And today I know it's gonna be 4-course dinner with barbecue by a gourmet chef, so I'm really excited. We were treated to a 5-course meal containing a selection of Sri Lankan dishes.
Course 1 is a vegetable spring roll. Course number 2, potato and leek soup. Sorry, I'm trying to be very quiet because the atmosphere is very romantic. Course 3, mango salad. Main course is barbecue chicken and pork with roti, a wee bit of salad, and some nice mushrooms on the side. The meat looks delicious. We saw them cooking it earlier, and the smell is driving me mental, so I'm going to eat it. Absolutely busted after dinner, but the last thing we have to get through is this delightful little piece of what seems to be cheesecake. Absolutely no time to rest. We just finished dinner and now it's time for a night walk, so hopefully you see lots of creepy crawlies, spiders, cockroaches, stick insects, all that.
He wants to see that, imagine.
Night walks are something we used to be pretty nervous about, but to be fair, we are pretty experienced in the world of creepy crawlies at this stage, so we were feeling rather brave. On our nocturnal voyage through the forest, we spotted some spiders, frogs, rabbits, and other insects. We actually bumped into another naturalist who told us he had spotted an elephant in the bushes beside the campsite, but we didn't manage to spot him.
It definitely felt like we were getting closer to seeing wildlife though, and the following morning would be the ultimate wildlife spotting adventure.
We have a very exciting morning ahead. It's currently 5:10 in the morning and we're heading off on our safari experience. This has actually been voted by Forbes as being the best safari experience outside of the continent of Africa, so we're very excited.
Would today be the day we would finally get a glimpse of a big cat in the wild? We certainly hope so.
However, the vibe we got that morning was that due to the rainy weather over the past few days, it was actually going to be pretty hard to spot a leopard. Pardon the pun.
They, like other cats, aren't really fans of water and tend to get very lazy during spells of rain, making them even more elusive than they already are.
That and the fact that rain makes the trees and bushes more lush, colourful and perfect for camouflage made us realise that maybe we wouldn't be fulfilling a huge dream today after all. We tried to enjoy the safari as much as possible anyway, and the thing that stood out most was the sheer beauty of the park. We managed to see so many animals.
We've had a bit of traffic on the road here in our safari.
This huge saltwater crocodile was just chilling out on the banks of this lagoon. We saw lots of spotted deer, wild boars and countless peacocks walking near the roads. We were amazed at the stunning birds that were in the trees all around us. Painted storks, kingfishers, crested hawk eagles, green parrots, and our favorite, the gorgeous Malabar pied hornbill, which actually looks a bit like the toucan we saw in South America earlier this year, just way bigger.
A real highlight of the safari was seeing this Sri Lankan elephant.
Something that surprised us is that Sri Lanka people are actually more afraid of elephants than leopards. This is a particularly aggressive male elephant, and if you got too close to it, it would attack you. Leopards, not so much, they're more kind of standoffish, but this type of elephant is endemic to Sri Lanka. You can't find them anywhere else in the world.
After 2 hours exploring the untouched nature of the park and being in awe of every animal we came across, it was time to stop off for some breakfast beside this beach.
So here we have a sandwich, some Sri Lankan roti, and probably a vegetable wrap. And then we have some fruit as well, so it looks like a really nice breakfast in the bush.
It's a very, very delicious Sri Lankan breakfast, and this pancake is actually not with vegetables, it's with sweet coconuts. So delicious. By the time we finished breakfast and got back on the road, it was already 8:15 a.m. Our expert wildlife spotter Kusal had previously told us that it was highly unlikely to see a leopard after 9 a.m. as the sun gets too hot for them, so we had given up on our chances to see one.
We were actually just going through all of the animals that we had managed to spot and trying to stay positive when, out of the blue, Lucas appeared.
There he was, just 10 meters away from us, acting like every cat we'd ever seen before, but looking like nothing we'd ever seen before. The rest of the safari ride is actually a bit of a blur, as we could barely believe how lucky we had just gotten to see him from such a close distance. Lucas is the largest identified male leopard in the park, and even Kusal, who has had hundreds of leopard sightings, said this was in his top 3 sightings ever due to the close proximity and the mannerisms of Lucas. As Asya so rightly wept, he was just a cat.
Oh my God, he's just a cat. Anyway, I guess that was enough moping over Lucas for one video anyway, but I'm sure you can tell how happy it's made us. On the way back to the camp, we saw a few male peacocks spreading their train trying to attract females, which was also so cool to see up close and personal. Peacocks really are such a strange and beautiful bird, aren't they? Everyone who knows me and Mark knows how much we like cats, and they know how much this moment means to us. Our first big cat in the wild. It's just so cool.
Okay, now let's refocus. There is more to life than cats. Actually there's not. Play the video of Lucas again.
Oh my God, he's just a cat. We were scheduled to go on a walk to a lake that afternoon, but the weather gods decided it wasn't a good idea, so we just chilled out at the common area with a couple instead. Our candlelit dinner that evening was once again delicious and contained much of the same ingredients as the previous evening. As we had been up since 4:30 a.m. and gone through a whole whirlwind of emotions, bedtime came early.
The following morning, all that was left for us to do was have breakfast, which was once again a real treat.
We've just been served our breakfast, and the guy said that in Sri Lanka, instead of one big breakfast, they like to have lots of little things. So we both have an egg, Ash's is scrambled, mine's fried. Then we have some tuna fish curry to go with some milk rice and roti. And then we have some toast, we have jam, butter, and a little saucy thing that's chili and salt. And for dessert we have a little coconut pancake. So it looks delicious. Hope it tastes delicious. If you have followed us for a while, you will have noticed that we actually stay in these kind of eco-friendly places quite a lot, and we're not really fans of staying in 5-star hotels or anything like that. There's a few reasons for that. One is that it's just a better adventure to stay in these kind of places, and that they're actually really actively good for the environment. And here at Mahoora, which is run by Eco-Team, that's the parent company, they do a few things to really help protect the environment. For example, they only recruit local staff and purchase locally produced goods and services. Here they have launched conservation programs to help protect endangered species in the park. As soon as you come here, you'll notice that they really try to use as little plastic as possible, and they're really striving to be completely plastic free. All of their organic waste is recycled into compost. All of their paper, cardboard, aluminium, metals and stuff are recycled through a trusted local recycling company. The safari jeeps that are used during the day on the safaris are used to charge the DC batteries that are used to give the camp electricity. For the barbecue and campfires, they only use recycled coconut shell, and for the wood fires they use wood that they've gathered from the area, and no trees are cut down for that purpose. For all these reasons and so much more, but more importantly, the fact that you're helping the environment is a way better reason to come somewhere like this rather than going and staying in some fancy pants hotel. And what makes Mahoora in particular the best place to come if you want to do a safari is that we've seen a lot of other jeeps in the park, and ours just seemed to be better. We were the first there in the morning waiting on the gates to open. We were the first to arrive to the lunch spot, and therefore we were the first to finish our lunch, and that is actually a huge part of the reason why we seen the leopard and so many jeeps didn't, because we were on the road first. Not to put down any other safari experiences or campsites in the area, Mahoora does seem to be the choice to go with. So our travel dream of seeing a big cat in the wild has come true at Mahoora, and we spent an unbelievable 2 days here.
In our next video, we're actually going to another location by Eco-Team, which is Haskapunya, so subscribe to the channel not to miss out on it. Meanwhile, don't forget to leave a like to this video, and if you go to Mahoora, we are sure you're gonna have something to remember, just like us.
Especially if you see Lucas. Let's just play the video of Lucas again here. Okay, bye bye.